With 2019 now in the books, we reflect on a year full of legal and tax developments impacting ag producers across the country. We now begin our countdown of the top 10 issues in today's Rural Money segment. And joining us now for a breakdown is Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law. Thanks for joining us, Roger. 2019 saw more juries render verdicts in cases involving alleged damages by Roundup. It was a big topic in 2019. It still is. What did we learn there?
Yeah, good to be with you, Christina. Well, hopefully we learn something out of this rather than to just simply reject the jury verdicts as the inflamed passions of California juries that a lot of us in farm and ranch country just simply would want to ignore. And while that may be true, and they may not have much understanding of agriculture, I think there are some applications from these jury verdicts that we should all be thinking about. What about our existing lease agreements? What if there's a liability claim that's made? Am I, as the landlord, protected based on the written language I have in my lease? If I don't have a written lease, I better get a written lease and think about that. What about my comprehensive liability for my policy for my farm or my ranch? Does it cover glyphosate-related events? What if I have farm employees? Should I be moving them from employee status to independent contractor status for liability protection? Those are all, I think, important implications from these jury verdicts that we need to be thinking about.
Absolutely. When it comes to food products, what do we need to reflect on there from 2019?
Well, I think at some point in time there will be cases where consumers of food products claim they were harmed by the presence of glyphosate in the food that they ate. None of the cases to date have made that allegation. That's probably going to come at some point down the road. If those cases arise, given the use of production contracts in ag and the possibility of tracing back to the farm from which the grain that is allegedly contaminated came from, does the farmer have liability? We need to think that through. Now, if you think that's far-fetched, we already have a member of Congress that is proposing the regulation of cows that have flatulence problems.
Right.
So it may not actually be that far-fetched, and perhaps us in ag need to be thinking about these types of things.
Yeah, just to hear you say that. Well, coming in at number 9 is ag antitrust, the ability of a farmer to sue for anti-competitive conduct. What are the highlights there from 2019, Roger?
Well, we had a case that went to the U.S. Supreme Court. It involved Apple phones and iPhone users, where they sued Apple over its operations of their App Store. And it was a claim of anti-competitive conduct. Well, one of the problems that has barred farmers for many, many decades and many years, even prior to this case, from suing for anti-competitive conduct in ag markets is known as the Illinois BRIC decision in 1977. And there the U.S. Supreme Court said, well, you can't claim damages if you're not the party that was directly injured. Well, in agriculture, we sell our products to maybe a processor, an elevator. We don't sell to the ultimate end user or the party that's going to sell it directly to the consumer. And so if we're claiming that there is anti-competitive conduct going on, often we don't have what's called standing to sue. It was hoped that the Apple iPhone case would open the door to that. It did not do so, although it does provide, I think, some relief or maybe an avenue for farmers and ranchers to bring cases involving allegations of anti-competitive conduct. And folks will just have to turn to my blog to get the details on that. So it didn't repeal Illinois BRIC. It just left the door open, I think, a little bit.
Absolutely. I highly recommend your blog. A great read there. Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law. Thanks for joining us. We got through number 9. Look forward to the remainder of that list as we continue on your Market Day Report in the coming weeks.